Okay, now we're going to talk about probability. Here we have the very basics of probability we're going to start talking about. First, we have to know that all of the events are fair. We can't find probability of unfair events. So the first thing I want to point out is this circle over here. So pretend that this is a spinner, like for a board game. So we're going to spin, and it can land on any of these sections. Now, this is not a fair experiment because what we have going on here is we can take A and see, look at the size of this chunk of A. Well, that's much bigger than the chunk of B. So since these are not the same size, this is an unfair experiment, and we are not allowed to find the probability of this. Okay? So that's the first thing. It's got to be fair. So we're looking for equal sections. So this is an example of not fair, so let's get rid of it. So then from there, we've got these two over here that are fair. All right, so these guys are fair. And the reason why is that if we go and do A, see how A is half the circle in this one and half the circle is B? So this is a fair experiment here. So is this one, even though there's more A's than B's, because the size B is the same as all these other size A's. See how everything's the same size? We're talking about cutting the pie in the same size. That's a fair experiment, okay? So there's two types of probability we have to be able to do. One is called empirical probability, where we keep spinning it and see what happens, all right? So let's pretend that we're going to use this little T-chart here, and we're going to just take this spinner right here, and we're just going to spin, okay? And we're going to do a little tally chart. So the first time, let's say I get an A. Let's say the first time I get an A. The second time I get an A. The third time a B. Fourth time A. Fifth time B. Sixth time A. Seventh time A. Ninth time A. 10th time B. Okay, so if we were just to do this little experiment, this is called empirical probability, where we say, okay, we can find the probability now. We can say, what's the probability of event A? Of event A. That's what this says. Big P, probability of event A. Well, if we take exactly what happened here, we got A 6 times, that's the part, over all the times we tried is 10. So we always do probability as part, whatever part it's asking for right here, that's the part, whatever part, all over the total. So in empirical probability, we just do an experiment over and over and we just see what we get, okay? But we still are going to do the part that they're asking for over the total, okay? The other is theoretical probability, where we're going to find what could happen. So in theoretical probability, we're going to ask ourselves what could happen. So we could say, okay, well, we got 60% for A before, but now here it's only one of the two sections, right? So this is going to be 50%, 50%. But over here, the probability of A on this guy is now there's 1, 2, 3. So that's the part. There's 3 parts out of all the total parts, which is 4. And this is going to be 0.75%, 75%. Okay. So what we're going to see is all probability is going to go between 0. All probabilities are going to be between 0 and 1. Well, that's because 0 is impossible, right? This could never happen, right? This is me being able to breathe in space. This is totally impossible. This is a 0% chance that I can breathe in space, okay? All the way to 100%, there's a 100% chance, 100% chance, see the decimal there, 100% chance I'm going to eat today, okay? So all probability is going to go between 0 and 1. So two things about, we have to know the thing is fair, right? Theoretical is what could happen. Empirical is what did happen, what actually happened. And remember, we always do probability by part. Whatever we're asking for, probability of A, then A is the part.